how you doing? I'm Nick Hennegan and welcome to, I think it might be episode 30 of the Maverick Diaries, or How to Make a Drama Out of a Crisis. Thank you again for supporting me and for getting in touch. We've got 29 subscribers now. Go on, make it 30. I don't know why either, but apparently it's a good thing to have. I'm supposed to do these every 2 days. They've been a bit of a pain in the bum. I've had a mad busy day today. I'm trying to get a thing called the West London People's Theatre Company going. An idea I had in Birmingham actually a few years ago when we did a full cast version of Shakespeare's Henry V. And anyone that wants to be in it can be in it, and this is what we're going to do in West London. Although trying to raise money through Space Hive, we need £20,000 and we've got about 15 of it, which is remarkable. But you can imagine during these COVID days trying to raise money is terrible. And of course there are more important things in life at the moment than putting on a play, but this will be great and it'll be just what we need when we come out. And if it works here, and I want to do it in Birmingham and in Manchester and Liverpool, and anyway, that's for later, because now we're going back to 1997. Who would have thought Zoom, eh? I had 3 Zoom meetings today. Anyway, by the by, we're going back to 1997, this stream of consciousness. Again, I haven't pre-read these for a long time, so you just kind of get them warts and all. I've done my usual, throat wetner. Kids, it's not big and it's not clever. As you can see, I'm outside again and it's getting a bit dusky, but I hope you can see me all right. Well, you don't really need to, actually. Probably better if you can't see me. Anyway, let's go back to 1997. Again, episode 1 is why I'm doing this, but basically, to summarise, I wrote a new play called A Ghost of a Chance. I just started Maverick Theatre Company. We had no money, life was very tough, and then we won 4 awards. So there was a bit of a dichotomy. Anyway, we'll see how we get on. Again, thank you very much for your emails if you've been in touch. We now go back to Thursday the 29th of August, 1997. Up and Under, John Godber's play, is going very well, both artistically and in terms of box office. I love the cast. They're really going for it. I'd like to work with most of them again, I think. I feel guilty that they're only on £50 expenses, but it was a big gamble paying them that much when we agreed the fee, as the same time slot last year sold very badly, but I felt I could at least find the money to cover the wages. Wages, ha! That's not much for 3 weeks' work, is it? Anyway, we do it because we love it. And there are 7 actors and Danny Parr, the stage manager. As it's turning out, it looks like we should cover the costs and even make a small profit. I say profit, but neither John Slater nor me have taken anything out of the production either yet. I spent twice as much promoting this show as any other, bitten by the experience of July last year. As mentioned at the press conference the day before, the Towlers did come to see the show and I met Justin's dad for the first time. I was a bit on edge throughout the performance, especially the first half. I had one eye on the show and the other on the Towlers family. To be honest, I'm not really sure why I should be so concerned. I should try and toughen up a bit. Anthea, Justin's mom, is very nice and she's a real trooper where Justin is concerned. I know she must be very proud of him. And after the last 2 sessions at the Midlands Arts Centre with Justin, poor Anthea was outside asleep in her car. That, my dear, is dedication. I'm growing increasingly fond of Justin, and I find I'm tending to talk to him as I would my nephews or nieces, i.e. as adults. Basically, he's a good kid. What's a kid? A baby goat, that's what. And he's learned, I think, and that instinctive skill of being able to be still when required in an artistic environment. During our first read-throughs, I personally would have liked to see more kid. Bah! But his jokes at the press reception show it is there. His imagination is very good, as we saw during our sessions with Glenn Bays. He's the raw acting talent as we saw during the auditions, and now I think he has the passion to be able to pull off what will be a very demanding role for a boy. Until now, he's just been, well, behaving, I suppose. The alternative could be horrible. Before the show starts, I offered to buy his family a drink. Justin comes downstairs with me to help carry them, and Rebecca, my girlfriend, and her sister Nicola are there. I introduce Justin to the girls, and we get the drinks from the bar. On the way back up to the round room, I voiced my fears to Justin about the language in the play, and how I hope his folks will be all right. He's vaguely non-committal. During the interval, I spy Justin and Anthea at a table while Dad gets a drink. I go over to them and ask them how they're getting on with the show. Anthea pleasantly says she thinks it's very funny but does think the language is a bit choice. She asks, without any accusation in her tone, do they need to use that kind of language in rugby? It's a genuine question, and to my surprise, Justin answers for me. That's what it's like, Mum. Paul and Gareth at school play rugby and they do talk like that. I presume the aforementioned Paul and Gareth are a similar age to Justin. Anthea seems to accept the explanation. I mutter an agreement and mentally thank my new ally. I really want everyone involved with a Ghost of a Chance to have a good experience, and I would hate to think that there was any pressure on Justin or his parents. I also, for the second time that day, feel my instincts about Justin are good. He will, I think, be okay. Yeah, he'll be good. As I don't have the pressure of directing the piece, once all the deals are done, I hope I might, for the first time ever, be allowed to be just the writer on A Ghost of a Chance. Glenn Bays assures me that he will make sure that this is the case when he starts full-time on the show on August the 18th as the producer. If so, it means I don't have to build an actor-director relationship with any of me cast, or two of them, plus a voice, and I'm quite looking forward to being just mates. After the press reception, Paul Slater and I chewed the fat for about an hour, and it was a very pleasant time. Yeah, I'll look out for Justin. I'll make sure he's good. He deserves it. I watched the second act of Up and Under, and although my eye does wander occasionally to the towellers, I'm much more relaxed. And when I do look over, I see them laughing. Oh, there's a footnote to the above. As chance would have it, my girlfriend and her sister sit behind the towellers. I've told them about Rebecca's BBC success, them and anyone else I meet in the street. Pleased? Me? Or should Coco? I see they're chatting. I speak to my girlfriend after they've gone. They seem very nice, she says. Justin looks cute. Ha! Strike one. His first Maverick fan. Saturday the 2nd of August. T-minus 5 weeks. I'm tired, but probably not as tired as the cast of Up and Under. It's been a busy week of good audiences, thankfully, standing ovations, heat and late nights. I've started work on an idea for another play I'd like to do, one I started years ago, about 4 kids growing up in Birmingham. But it's now 1:45 a.m. Everyone's gone back to Tom and Danny Parr's place for a takeaway and a chat. And I know I should go, but I also know I'm tired. And I've got to do a bit of this accursed journal thing. I've been an antisocial git during this run. I've not been out once with the cast, and I regret it because they're a good bunch, and I would like to get to know them better. There's quite a few things I've got to sort out, though, not least of which is the video/film footage for A Ghost of a Chance. After the show goes up tonight, I arranged to meet with Andy Bloom, who's a mate and a committed film anorak. Fortunately, our anoraks are different colours, and our zips rarely do up tight at the same time or about the same thing. Andy Bloom is a bit of a whiz with a camera, and he can pull on a number of film references to get the desired result. So we plan the film sequences for Ghost of a Chance, setups and locations, and consider casting and props and costumes. As Andy is off to the Edinburgh Festival on Thursday, we need to get the footage in the can, as they say, before he departs. We can edit when he returns, during the formal rehearsals for Ghost of a Chance. Fortunately, the schools are now on holiday, as most of the casting involves children. There are 2 main sequences, one where Luke, the monster, shows Bob, the father, his old home, and we see his extended family. The other where Luke, monster, shows Bob, father, previous victims throughout history, the sons of other people that he has helped before. His victims are all boys, and we intend to use the lads who wrote in as a result of the newspaper stories appealing for actors, and maybe 1 or 2 of the boys who audition for the part of Tim, the son. If they don't mind, of course. John Napier will definitely be in there somewhere. I've also put myself in the sequence. This isn't mad ego or a desire to replicate some kind of Hitchcockian cameo appearance. It's just economic sense. I'm really cheap. I had my hair cut to show the grey. Oh, I forgot to mention, I did get a haircut eventually, yeah. I wanted a 50s style laptop. The girl at the barber squeaked and said, "Oh, I can't do a flat top. I've only been here 3 weeks. Although I filled in last year during the school summer holidays." Well, what can you expect for £4.50? I told her to do what she could. So I'm going to play, in the film sequence, Justin's great-grandfather. You know, the young-looking, debonair one. We worked through the logistics and managed to iron out most of the problems. A thorny one is shooting the victims. If they are from throughout history, what period costume do they wear? It's only head and shoulder shots, but where do we get a dozen period kids' costumes from, on budget, and now? We need to shoot this week. Andy Bloom finally solves the problem. They won't wear anything. We'll get them topless. Topless actors in my new play. I wonder what the Daily Star would make of that. The victim costume problem solved. We worked through the number of locations where each sequence is to be filmed and the number of setups. Each time you have to move the camera becomes a new setup. We decide finally on our old favourite, Sutton Park in Birmingham. Well, just outside Birmingham. In Sutton Coldfield, the royal town, but don't mention that. We're also going to need a good makeup artist. Andy thinks he knows someone. We're going to have to start working on this tomorrow, Sunday, which is a bit of a shame because I have now not had a single straight day off for over 4 months. And I was hoping to have a breather before we launch into a Ghost of a Chance proper. Still, maybe next week. Or maybe the week after. Who knows? Monday the 4th of August, 1997. Well, Up and Under is over. We all went out to our special late-night pub in Borsall Heath for a big bash after the final show on Sunday, which almost sold out. I ended up talking about Up and Under 2 with Julia Smith, the director, and some of the cast. I hope to do it with them all, but of course they weren't paying more. It was reasonable given the way this show has seemed to go, but none of them have been at a show that hasn't sold so well. I want to pay everyone properly, but it's such a risk without funding. There's no backstop. There's no reserves. I talked to Julia about how we might be able to tour perhaps with Up and Under 2. I hope it all comes to something. Julia says the reputation that we have as a company is nice people, good work, good fun, crap money. Too true, sadly, although I'm struck by the way people are now considering us a credible company to work with. Last time I looked, Maverick was just a few mates having a laugh. I do some more phoning and fixing for the Ghost of a Chance shoot and speak to Gareth Williams, his mother. Poor John Napier. I want John to be the urchin boy in the film sequence by way of some small reward for his work on the script development sessions, but Andy Bloom says John looks just too healthy. I show him Gareth's picture and Andy says, yep, he's the one. Gareth does look younger because he is. He's 11 years old. He was the boy I saw with Justin at the Betty Fox stage school. I phoned Gareth's mom and have a chat with her and she's up for it. I haven't yet spoken to John Napier. If nothing else, he will have to be one of the victim boys. The Birmingham Voice newspaper phoned for a black and white picture of Paul Henry, but I don't have one. So I send one of the colour shots we did with John Napier. I hope they can use that. We also get a copy of the Birmingham Live TV interview from last week. It obviously features on Paul Henry, but we're all in there. So I must try and get a copy done for Justin. Saw the film The Lost World tonight with Andy. Ate huge amounts of popcorn and nachos and, of course, took some leaflets to the UCI cinema. Now Up and Under is over, I can hardly believe that the next show is A Ghost of a Chance. I'm nervous and excited all at the same time. I have a slightly uneasy feeling that something will go wrong during the rehearsal period. We shall see. I'm quite relaxed now that Up and Under is finished. And although I can't have the whole day off, I decided to go for a swim at about 7 o'clock at night at Coxmore Woods Leisure Centre. I just blast up and down a bit and realise how unfit I am. I see an Asian boy with his father who would be perfect as a victim for the filming sequence, but I don't have the courage to approach them. Andy advises me later that I was probably quite right not to. It's a decadence though, swimming. When you're on your financial uppers, £2 for a swimming ticket is a lot of money. But I would like to join a gym. I'll be getting pains in my chest every now and again. I went to the doctor, who lost interest instantly when he found out I still smoked. A bit of encouragement to give up would not have come amiss. Still, if I drop dead before A Ghost of a Chance goes up, sue the bugger. I've also got to work out if I can get up to the Edinburgh Festival for the festival for a few days before rehearsals and my birthday. John James, our lovely helper, is going up with John Stalker, Chief Executive from Birmingham Repertory Theatre. I still haven't spoken to Mum and Dad, although I've tried phoning a few times. Bad son.